Scene. All right. Hello, my fellow foam flinging enthusiasts. My name is Andrew, aka Dark Sweep, and welcome to another fantastic year and very first episode of. Oops. Yep, that's me. Sorry. Welcome to a very exciting new year of the Foam Zone. The Foam Zone is a bi-weekly live stream show airing every other Wednesday exclusively here on the World Foam Alliance YouTube channel. If you have not done so already, please visit the World Foam Alliance website, which is worldfoamalliance.org. This website is dedicated to providing a hub, a connection point opportunity for all of us to connect, figure out where everyone is located, seeing if there are any local clubs or events in your area, and a lot more, hopefully coming up this year. So stay tuned. Let's see. It's been a minute, so I'm just getting reacclimated being a host here. So a little housekeeping. We got a bunch of fun events that are scheduled already for this year coming in the first week in March. March 1st is Sub-Zero, which is going to be held and hosted up in Rochester, New York again, I believe. And then in May, the weekend of May 9th, of course, we have Maryland Mayhem 2025, 3 days of foam flinging fun. We have the Maryland Foam Tournament on the Friday. We have BlasterCon and the casual PvP 11th hour blaster battle happening on the Saturday. And then the main event, if you're available, is the HVZ hosted by the UMBC HVZ team. So it's going to be a fantastic weekend. We have all 18 teams already registered and getting ready to duke it out on the comp field. Super exciting. They'll be playing Flag Dash again. And I think we'll be live streaming that too here on the World Foam Alliance channel. So that'll be exciting. And then, of course, BlasterCon with all your favorite vendors and personalities will be there. And then on Sunday, the main event is themed to space this year. So it will be a lot of fun missions involving a space theme. So registration is now open. So if you'd like to come, visit the website at marylandmayhem.com. You'll be able to register yourself, whether if you want to come for 1 day or all 3 days. We hope that you can come for all 3 days. And then in the end of May and the first weekend of June is Survival Fest, which is going to be taking place in Athens this year in Ohio. So bringing it back to some of the old school roots. Super exciting. I'm super excited to hopefully being able to attend all the events this year, schedule permitting. Keeping my fingers crossed. But yeah, also a lot of fun stuff has been released during the wintertime. I know we took a little break during December. We're hoping to get some supplemental material out throughout that time to give you guys something to engage with. We just didn't get there. But I will say that is something that we'll go into discussion this evening. Because our guest was actually a little bit involved with that, but we will get that content out to you one way or another eventually, soon. Let's see, what else do we have? We discussed the events and the blasters. Yeah, so just a quick shout out to everyone that made it into the stream tonight. Of course, we got General Strife, Wizard Builds, Captain Shotgun, Danny Pac-Man, Thirsty for Foam. We got Joe Fox, Xbox Games is in the house. Welcome, guys. Thanks for joining. Good to see you guys. Happy New Year. So quick question to the live chat is what blasters have come out since December that you are excited about, that maybe you even got your hands on, or that you're looking forward to seeing that's going to be released soon. So if there's something that was exciting that came out, drop that down in the live chat let us know if there's something that you're looking forward to. I know that the Kunlun, how do you pronounce that? Someone's going to correct me, but the worker bolt action has been popping up and looks like it's a lot of fun. One thing that's been popping up on the DMV playing field that I'm happy to see perform quite well and people enjoy is the battle axe. The battle axe has been killing it. That's a lot of fun. So if you haven't gotten a chance to check out Silly's, I don't even know how to describe it. But yeah, check out the battle axe. It's a lot of fun. We've been seeing a lot of proteans on the comp field, amoebas, just a lot of exciting stuff coming out. I know that the X-Shot Fury was released and some people were able to get their hands on. There was some type of flintlock rifle or revolver rifle. I don't even know how you describe it. From Dart Zone that was just released. That looks a lot of fun. A lot of good stuff. So I'm just kind of curious what everyone's kind of been up to and what you've been looking at, or if you guys have any recommendations. There you go, Kunlun. I'm not the only one. There it is. Awesome. Thank you, Strife. But yeah, so like I mentioned before, we are super excited to get our hands back on the reins of this website. So a lot of exciting developments will be coming out, and we'll be sharing that with you. So stay tuned. Let's see. And yeah, call to action. Make sure that you register yourself and your clubs on the website. That's still going. We want to collect all that information and get that going, get you guys connected. And yeah. So let's see. Yep. General Strife is excited for the Fury X and the Pac-Man long shot. BK1S isn't exactly new, but it's new. Yep, the BK1S is a lot of fun. I had a chance to run it a couple times, and then it turned winter, so I have to wait until I get to play outdoors again because it's hitting a little too hard for the indoor field currently. But I think my BK2S is good for the indoor field. So let's see. Wizard Build says they're looking forward to the Dart Zone Cricket. And if it's developed like the X-Shot Micro. I'm not sure if I've actually seen the Cricket, but if it sounds like what I'm thinking of, yeah, that should be fun. I always thought that the Solo was the Dart Zone Cricket, or that I don't know. Speaking of the Dart Zone Solo, anyone seen the new color scheme, the purple Solo? That looks pretty good. So I know they have it available on the website, and they were doing some promotions. So definitely purple. If it's not in red, it's going to be purple for me. So I'm super excited. I got to make sure I grab a few of those. And I'm so sorry. I know I owe a few people some solos from last season. I promise I will get those out to you. But yeah, I'm really excited. I can't say too much, but definitely looking forward to what Dart Zone has in store for everyone this year. So let's see. Yeah, purple's the new red, or orange, or something like that. Awesome. But yeah, so I guess at this time would be an appropriate time to introduce our guests for the evening. So I had the pleasure of meeting one of our guests in person at APOC 2021, I believe. A fellow cameraman is how we bonded over, is the way I like to think about it. We bonded over the tank that the Uno Club runs at their APOC events, and we were discussing the best camera angles to get when we were there. So, and then we have their partner in crime, who makes many appearances on their YouTube channel as well, and has some very good insight. I think as someone who maybe is not as heavily and super I don't even know, crazy or neurotic. They probably are, and just as much as we are, but someone that's kind of outside of the hobby that doesn't dip into it as much as we do. So it's always I always enjoy getting to hear other people's perspectives, that to see if we're crazy or if we're not crazy. But the answer is usually that we're just crazy. but there's nothing wrong with that. So let's see. Oh, Wizard, how do you like? Oh, it's a budget solo. Oh, that's right. The green colored solo that Target's coming out with. So the reskin. I think that's the Cricket, if I'm not mistaken. That looks like fun too. I am kind of curious about it though, because it looks like it has some holes or something in the barrel. So I'm not quite sure how that's going to work with airflow and FPS performance, but it'll be interesting. But yes, without further ado, I would like to introduce our guests for the evening. We have none other than Griever and Arleen from Lionheart Customs. How are you guys?
Doing great.
Thank you so much for being on the show. I have to let the audience know that this has been a long time coming, actually, because we were originally scheduled to do this, I think, mid-November or late November, right before the holidays got super crazy, and just unexpected circumstances forced us to kind of reschedule to a later date, but here we are. So as I like to say, always better late than never. So thank you guys, and appreciate you guys joining us this evening. If you guys don't know, Griever has a YouTube channel, a very long time standing YouTube channel, one of the longest in the hobbies, I think, actually. I think going on 13 or 14 years. So we'll get into that a little bit as we get into discussion and talk a little bit more about content creation and everything. But first of all, let's go ahead and introduce yourselves to everyone. Give us a little 101 and tell us a little bit about yourselves for people that might not know.
Okay. All right. I'll kick it off since I'm the old fart here. I am Griever, also known as Griever 2112, co-founder of Nerfing Lionheart Customs. I've been doing this for going on about 14 years, like 13, 14 years or so, because I started the hobby before I started the YouTube channel. I started off on just kind of like a lark. I had wanted to do, surprisingly enough, I wanted to do a Left 4 Dead cosplay for Halloween. And then I found a Recon CS6 in Target. And I'm like, this would be really cool to use as a prop. And then I decided, all right, well, let's see what I can do with it. And I came across one of the original forum pages, which was Nerf Revolution. And I saw what everyone was doing with these things, with like Nerf blasters and like old and new. And I'm just like, my mind was blown. And I just went head first into it. And I fell down that rabbit hole very, very quickly. And then I started getting like Raiders, and I started getting Long Strikes, and then Stampedes and Vulcans. And then I was like, I started watching like Drac and Coop and UNI 13. And I was like, I want to try that. And that's when I started my original channel, Griever Mods and Reviews, and then it just kind of all snowballed more so from there.
Yeah. And then I'm Arleen. He took me upon as soon as I graduated college. We were ending up actually working at the same employer. I was taking photography for this big event that the company was actually having, and Griever here actually put together a nerfing event at this function. And so I was taking pictures and, just passing around all these Nerf blasters. Everyone had such a good time. His son actually dragged me into his office. We had Dr. Pepper and Doritos. And I went into, hey, I'm starting to get into cosplay. I'm doing all these prop builds. And obviously blasters is a very common prop for a lot of characters. And that's just kind of how this partnership kind of came to be. He invited me to his garage. First, I had to help him move in to said garage. That was kind of my initiation. Like, well, you're going to help me move. And then partner of the channel. And again, it started off as prop building, and then it just kind of continued to morph. I was able to show some of my costumes on this channel as well. And after a long time wearing me down, okay, now it's time to better understand the nerfing community. So that's where I am. I'm still getting my feet wet, understanding the different parts of the blasters, and hopefully
terminologies and stuff like that.
There's a lot of names for things. The model name specifically gets a little confusing at times. But yeah, that's a little bit about me. But no, I'm just very happy to be here to talk with you guys and give a novice insider look into the nerfing community, which so far has been very open and welcoming and just so wonderful.
Well, at this point, what you're 3-4 years in, so you're not quite so novice at this point, maybe. But
I keep telling her that, but it's a slow burn.
I don't have an armory like this man does at my house. I just have a few blasters here and there, just kind of scattered throughout the house. But
well, as long as keep it that way for as long as you can. Trust me. So you guys are both located in the New Jersey area. What's your background?
So my background is actually, I want to say, more of a jack of all trades, really. I've been a bank teller. I've been customer service, sales. I've always enjoyed video games and like sci-fi, fantasy, all that kind of stuff, and then just really trying to figure out how to apply that craft to, because I've always had like a creative bug, but I mean, drawing, I never really got a good grasp on it. So I always had this like artistic outlet of like, I need to do something, and then I started working on the Nerf blasters, and then it was just like, oh, this is my craft now. And that's kind of where I went onto that. And I always had like a fascination with cosplay and like props and stuff like that. And then when I made that jump in 2018 from Griever's mods and reviews to actually launching Nerfing Lionheart Customs, and when I brought in Arleen for that, that was when I was like, you know what, it wasn't so much I wanted to get out of the hobby type of thing. It was more of I wanted to like expand my horizons more so than anything. So that's why it's like the content on the channel is still mainly Nerf blasters, mods and reviews and stuff like that. But that's why we'll occasionally have the cosplay builds, the prop builds, even having Arleen in for like the reviews on like certain blasters, just to get like the outsider's perspective, so to speak. So.
All right. And then my humble beginnings, I actually am originally from Connecticut, tiny little town in the middle of nowhere, raised on a 1 acre, just in the middle of the woods. I was actually literally in the middle of the state park in Connecticut, came down to New Jersey to actually study interactive advertising and web design. So again, very creative outlet, even though all of my grades, the best were always in math and sciences. But I always did love kind of that, having a creative outlet of some sort. Once I was able to escape the woods of Connecticut and come to New Jersey, I did find the cosplay community. It definitely started off at Renaissance fairs. It is a gateway. You go there, you immediately spend hundreds of more dollars than you expected to. And then I just wanted to continue to build from there, and then finding all these different fandoms of things that I truly, truly enjoyed and found myself reflected in these characters. I loved the idea of, hey, I can not just embody them just in my day-to-day, but can actually dress up. And going to Comic-Con, my first time, was quite the experience. Again, for me, it's all about finding that community of like-minded people to kind of help build you up, and so you don't feel so alone in the world. And so when met this guy over here, I'll actually show the first one. He actually first made me my Harley Quinn blaster. I brought this with me to my first Comic-Con just as Harley, and I definitely appreciated it because one thing I learned very quickly was, yes, a lot of these characters have very large props. I even made this 6-foot-tall hammer that she has in the movie that I was basing it off of, and I couldn't bring that with me to New York. That just was not going to happen. So this was a great little replacement for it, and it fit with the with the entire cosplay so well. So that's kind of where I come in with. I like being able to bring these characters to life. One, to find like-minded people, and two, also I just love making people happy. And I'm a people pleaser at heart. That's just kind of my go-to. And little kids seeing their characters come to life is always just a huge impact to me. So that's kind of where I started and have kind of come to. But yeah, I think that's a good wrap up of where I'm at in my background. Currently, I will say this: I'm looking for a job, so if anyone's hiring, let me know. In my spare time, I do bartending jobs, so I have a lot to do with that. Again, it's all about talking and networking with people and getting to know them. And definitely now working into the Nerf community, loving being able to reach out and meet people in real life as well, to meet them in the Nerf community.
Sure, absolutely. I mean, definitely one thing I never realized until you're actually, neck up into it is actually the amount of people that actually unknowingly are integrating, Nerf blasters into their cosplays, and the market for that. Al mentioned it, and for as many people know, Al the Geek specializes in cosplay blasters. But again, I've gone to conventions with him and helped him out there. The moment that they see that these, essentially prop blasters are fully functional with, what he has to offer, their minds are blown, and then, leads them down the rabbit hole. Oh, I can actually use these. Do people actually get together and, have wars and stuff? Well, yes, they do. Let's give you a card, or go to the worldfromalliance.org website. It's amazing to see how many people actually get into the hobby because of cosplay. And one of our local players, UPW Designs, does a lot of cosplay, but his blaster integrations are all foam flinging blasters, and they're elaborate, but it's amazing what he does with it, and it's impressive to see that. So
it goes beyond, again, just the whole look and feel of it, actually making it functional. I mean, those are always the cosplays, at least that I enjoy most, that I see at cons, is it's not just for looks, because I will tell you, and most other cosplayers will tell you, a lot of it's held together with duct tape last minute and pins that you don't see, and it usually just falls apart. So
duct tape spitting a prayer.
So to be able to actually have like a functional prop is just, it adds that extra something to it. It's just really awesome.
Yeah, like I've done like a couple of various props for just like cosplays that I've done. Like when I did my Destiny Hunter, I had a light rifle that was like a laser tag blaster, and I mean, I gutted it. I did a great job on it. It was one of my more popular prop builds and all. But I mean, like, it would have been nice if I could have made it functional, and it would, or if I could have been able to base that off of like an actual Nerf blaster, so that this way it's not just like a nice showpiece on my wall. It was like, it would be something, I could bring it to a war, which is one of the things like I had done with my my Strifle build, was I wanted to make it functional, but I also wanted to make it kind of like a special prop piece. So that's why like I added like the Latin lettering on it. I added the
scroll,
the purity seal from Warhammer on it, to kind of give it the, to kind of give it more of a feel of just, it's just another blaster. So
it's amazing what you do, not just with the internals, which I'm currently learning.
Yeah,
I started with the aesthetics, but to continue to grow that, it's a really fun process.
Absolutely. I do want to just quickly give a quick shout out to a living legend we have in the live chat. We have Clowny Nerf saying hello.
Clowny!
So Clowny. So good to see your name up on the live chat there. Question to you guys. So what do you think? What is it about foam flinging in general, or specifically, that you love and has kind of kept you here? And you've been having your channel for 13 years, and Arleen, you got that into this, you're not exactly noob level anymore. So what do you love about it?
That's a good question.
I mean, honestly, for me, it is the community.
Yeah.
I mean, like, you could do technically what we do in various other forms. Like, you can do kind of this with airsoft. You can do this with paintball, but with like the Nerf blasters and such, it's just so much more of a chill factor.
Absolutely.
Like
I
the one
would
thing,
agree with that 100%.
yeah, because I mean, especially in my later years of the hobby, but like best example I can give is APOC. And I mean, you've seen this firsthand. Like the first half of the event, it's everyone getting together, everyone having fun, doing the individual matches and all that kind of stuff. And then after that lunch break, it just becomes such a chill afternoon of like, yeah, they're still running the games, they're still trying to keep everyone like going and all that stuff, but it's like a lot of us old timers like me, Charles from Containment Crew, Random Shadow, Jeff, we'll just sit around and just be like, oh, they're playing? Okay, cool. BS for like for an hour or two, just catching up and everything. So that's the one thing I always liked about it. It's just, I mean, is it a perfect community? No, nothing's ever perfect, but it's just such a chill environment when you get to like really like dive into it. Cause I mean, in essence, we're a bunch of adults playing with toys. I mean, you can't be that serious with it, or you shouldn't be that serious with it.
You shouldn't be.
I will definitely echo that a lot. It really is the chill factor. I've done paintball in the past, and I always have, when I think of airsoft, I flash back to the almost year-old episode now, I think, of South Park, where the teenagers are playing airsoft and they're super aggressive and like, it's like, oh no, what? I don't want to. The kids literally, they want to stop playing. And with paintball, I remember my poor friend, she got the paintball burst right on her mask and got all in her mouth. So it was just the mess of it, which was fun at the time, but once it gets into your mouth, not so much anymore. Yeah. And then the aggressiveness kind of that went behind airsoft, which I know can be fun. No drama or shade to those communities, but with Nerf, it is a lot more lighthearted, it is a lot more fun. And again, I think the customizations that you can make to the blasters are much easier, I think, to get into for Nerf specifically. As we've mentioned in our Welcome to the Hobby, I know it's not just Nerf blasters anymore. There are many brands out there. But it's definitely, you can, again, aesthetically change them, change all the internals to meet all these different, whether it's FPS or range, accuracy, things of that nature. I like that customization portion of it. And it's obviously just easier to get into that with the Nerfing community. And yeah, it's just, everyone's so nice.
Absolutely. No, I 100% agree. I think the number one answer that I get when I ask that question is the people, is the community, and what they bring to it. I think we all, specifically, at least in the Maryland area, we try to pride ourselves on being super inclusive and allowing everyone the opportunity to have a chance to have as much fun as we do. So, and again, that's kind of why we do what we do. Is for me personally, I enjoy seeing people have a good time, even if that means I don't get to play as much as I want to. But
yeah. Well, I mean, like even at the end of last year, Uno had their Halloween event, their big Halloween game. It was actually my son's first Nerf event, so he got to run around all day with. He was running my Worker Seagull because it was the only thing he could prime. But I mean, he had a blast with it. He had an absolute blast. I was like, "Do you want to come again?" He was just like, "Yes, yes, yes."
Nice. And I do want to recommend, for those that don't know, Uno is the club, conglomerate or group of clubs located in the northeastern area that covers Connecticut, New York, New Jersey, Rhode Island. Am I missing
Long
one?
Island.
Long Island. In fact, we're going to be having Rob from Puddletown Ventures, who's working with Faddle and some of the Uno guys on our next episode coming up at the end of the month. So super excited. So stay tuned for that episode. It's going to be a lot of fun. Super excited for that.
Yeah,
but
Uno also just, shout out to them for, what they do and all that kind of stuff, reviving some of the clubs in the areas. Like the New York club was always one that kind of went strong, but like when the original New Jersey and JNO like kind of went under, they, Ben Lamb wound up bringing that back. Rob DX got the CTNO going again. And also, they picked up the reins for APOC, which, as much as we all begrudgingly love and hate it at the same time, because, it's always that first Saturday in August. So it's like always so damn hot and humid, but we all go to it because it's such a wonderful tradition. And they keep that.
Now, I may be mistaken. It might be the second weekend in August this year. I heard. I could be mistaken. Don't quote me on that.
Yeah, I haven't heard yet, but I know. Traditionally it was always the first Saturday.
Right.
So they may wind up. I know there was talk of trying to move it around just because the weather is always such a mitigating factor on it. But yeah, I mean, I don't have any say in that. So
we'll keep our fingers crossed. Just one more week. One more week.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean the community, it's fantastic. Absolutely, 100%. So let me see. What do we have in the live chat? If you guys have any questions for Griever or Arleen, go ahead and drop those down in the live chat. And I saw we had a super chat question or comment earlier. I did miss that. Daph, I thought we had one. I didn't even know we had super chats going, but I guess we did. But all right. So let's talk about the main reason I wanted to get you guys on here is to discuss content creation. A lot of us that watch the stream or in the hobby, just in general, are aside from doing foam flinging and going to events, are creative, and one of the creative outlets is trying to create content, trying to create a presence, branding, however you want to call it. You started your channel 13, 14 years ago. So I feel like you have a lot of expertise in the matter. But let's first start off with what got you into wanting to even create a channel, and just talk a little bit about the evolution and about your content creation in general.
So I started my channel, I think it was like sometime in 2011 or so, and it started off basically as a review channel. I started, my very first video was a review of a Stampede that I had gotten on sale at Toys R Us. It was a 5-minute video. It's very cringe now. Please don't go watch it. But yeah, I mean, I started watching like a lot of us old timers, a lot of the old legends. Drac. Yeah, he's an old legend. His channel's actually older than mine. But like UNI 13, Coop. I started watching all of them. I mean, like, they're channels that I've forgotten over the years, but like, then I got Clowny into, like, I actually convinced Clowny to start his channel. And even watching like some of my other friends, like Heavy Starch, and even like channels like Psych, watching them as the years go on, just making me want to improve my content and all. But the one thing I always wanted to pride myself on, especially with my reviews, was just the honesty factor. And that was when what I would like to think is my shtick is just my honesty on things. And it's more so of like, if I'm reviewing something, I'm giving my opinion on it. I'm not trying to sell you on it. I'm not trying to shill it for somebody. I am telling you what I think of this particular thing. So if I like something, I will tell you, yes, I like it. I'm going to get a couple of more. If you like it, go get it. Why not? If I don't like something, I'm going to tell you why I don't like it and why I'm not getting it. But that's my opinion. You may not see that as a factor of, oh, well, I'm okay with that. So you may still want to get it. So, and that's fine. I'm just giving you my 2 cents on things. But when
you're not gatekeeping is, I think, the way I like to put it, that he's, helping people to be able to see these things and take all of your reviews, taking them apart and presenting them with, hey, if this is something you might want to consider, and you're helping kind of push that, I think, forward.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's why, I've now gotten so formulaic with my reviews. It's just to kind of keep things a little standardized, but not really. But it's just more so of I know what I need to go over. I need to go over the aesthetics of the blaster. How does it look? How does it feel? How does the thing work? And then I'll usually 9 times out of 10, I'll open up something just so you can see what's inside of it. How complicated is it to actually kind of futz around with it? Is it really simple, or is there going to be a lot of pieces that you may lose 1 or 2 things, and that's going to be a problem, but this is where it goes. So you can reference back to my video on it, and then I give you my final thoughts on everything. So, but yeah, that's the one thing I always wanted to say, and I've had plenty of friends tell me that that's why they like my reviews and stuff, and people who I've reviewed stuff for, Franz Foamworks and even Foamdemic, they value my reviews on things because I'm not going to sugarcoat it. If something's not working for me, at least, I'm going to point it out. I'm not going to give a favorable review just because you sent me something. So
integrity is hot.
Yeah.
Right. Well, I think one thing also is, at least with you and some others that I know, Boomstick Mods does this, but you guys actually put the blaster through its paces, and it's not so much a first impression and then, taking chrono numbers right off the bat, but it's really kind of, opening up the blaster and looking at the internals and then providing a honest opinion, and then letting the viewer decide, based off of that afterwards. But, it's not so much a first impression versus actually going into the nitty gritty and examining the blaster, and giving it a real fair, honest review.
Yeah, because that's the whole. To me, that's the point of the review. It's not to sell you something. It's to review it. And if I'm going to lie about my review, why bother? So.
Right. And then, do you think, for people getting into content creation, do you think it's important to kind of focus your material and content on one specific subject, so modding or blaster reviews or gameplay, or is it a good idea to kind of hodgepodge them all together and just provide a general channel that has content of the theme of Nerf, essentially?
I know for us, it's whatever we feel like doing, it's literally just, hey, I'm going to do this anyways. Let me put a camera in front of me and kind of, again, probably make some content that could help somebody else out. So that's really kind of, I think the base of it is do what you want. For us, it's very varied.
For us, we're at now, I don't want to say we're in the twilight years, but we're at that point of we're just doing this for the fun of it now. I've done this for so long that I would say if I'm gonna give the advice, start off with one thing and see if it works. And if it works, then you can start expanding. If you try something and it's not working, then you can try switching it up. Because I started off with just straight reviews. And then as I got the reviews going, then I started doing the mods and stuff. And then after I started doing the reviews and the mods, that's when I was all right, this is getting a little monotonous. Let me start expanding into like the cosplay and the props and stuff. And, you know, seeing how those work. And then it just wound up going into like, all right, now we just do what we want to do. Because, I mean, I used to do like event footage. Like I used to do like a couple of rounds from like the New Jersey events that I used to go to back in the day. I always used to do a APOC roundup where I would have like a bunch of footage from like you know, the battles or, you know, the walks arounds and stuff like that. But, you know, I mean, I still kind of do a wrap up video, but I mean, like the event footage I always got was honestly was never that great. And so it got to the point of where I'm like, the videos did okay, but I didn't really enjoy doing those videos. So it's like, that's the other thing. I'm like, even if it's doing good, but you're not enjoying it, it's like, it's just, at that point, it's just going to become a job.
Yeah, that was going to be my next point, is it really comes through on camera if you're actually enjoying yourself. If you're enjoying what you're doing, the viewers will most likely enjoy it as well. So it definitely is, do what you feel like doing. If you're invested in a project, your audience will be as well. But yeah, just honestly, just get started, just pick up a camera and go. And it kind of all falls into place pretty quickly, I would say, after that.
Yeah. Clowny says the only reason they watch your channel is because because you let them use your shower at APOC.
That's true. 100%. Although he complains about it every year because it's on the second floor.
Also, he says no one watches battle footage, so.
And that's why I stopped doing it.
That's bad for me then. All right. So,
if you're exuding that joy from it, then yeah, people are more likely going to watch it for sure.
Pac-Man watches it. Danny watches it. Thanks. Thanks, Danny.
There you go.
I just need one viewer. So.
I watch it because it's better than my footage.
So when you're setting up the camera, or you have an idea in mind, or you're going to do a blaster review, what would you say your overall approach or philosophy is to making the content, the process, thought process?
First and foremost, it's like kind of planning out. Like we actually, when we did our last video, the workshop tour where we finished doing the final walkthrough of that, like we actually spent a good part of that morning just kind of going through our spreadsheet for 2025 on like, okay.
I'm a spreadsheet fiend. I could live in a spreadsheet if I had the ability to. It just makes things more organized and makes sense in my lovely spicy brain.
Yeah.
As you mentioned in the intro, I am in fact crazy and neurotic. Don't worry.
I knew
you're
it.
amongst good company.
Yeah,
I knew it.
And thankfully she has kept me much more organized as the years have went on, because I am a very disorganized person. So right. We have a nice spreadsheet of like
the videos including magnets if you want to see that in real time.
Shut up. But we've gone through like the 2025 stuff of like, all right, these are going to be the priorities. These are like our main projects. These are going to be our secondary projects that we would like to get to. Of course, there's going to be stuff that's just going to pop up like
life happens.
Like life happening, or if the new hotness comes out and I'm able to get my hands on it, then, right. Schedule be damned. I'm going to do a review on it and try and get those views, but.
Right.
So it really is just blocking and just collecting all of your thoughts. Again, I'm a person that likes to write things down just so I can have a general idea of how I'm going to attack it.
Yeah.
Because, again, when it comes to content creation, the amount of content becomes overwhelming very quickly.
Yeah. And like when it comes to my reviews as well, it's like a lot of the times, I mean, I don't, much to my chagrin in some watching some things back, I normally do not script anything. Everything is just off the cuff. But when it comes to reviews, I will at least like kind of jot down notes and shove those right under the camera, so I know at least I hit a couple of bullet points of like, I need to talk about that. I want to talk about this. I should mention that type of thing. So yeah, definitely like you want to organize your thoughts before like you just hit that record button, because if not, you'll be out here for like 4 hours trying to record like a 15-minute video. And
Right.
I've been there, and it's not fun, because at the end of that video, you're just so annoyed that it took so long to record something that once you edit it down was like 15 minutes. And like, I spent all day out here recording, and
Right.
this is what I have.
And then editing
Right.
afterwards, so much footage, that's just even more pain.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah, no, story of my life. I am still working on content. So my approach is to try to get stuff done that I've shot chronologically. I am still stuck back in 2023. So yeah, so it's coming. I promise. Again, better late than never. It's coming. Guys.
You're preaching to the choir if you've seen our last few videos. Especially after the pandemic, everything kind of
3 years.
I got there.
Well, so let's talk a little bit about you, Arleen. How did you get involved? I know you mentioned this a little bit at the beginning, but how specifically did you get tricked into doing this? And now that you're a part of this,
that's a great adjective.
Tell the true story. Go ahead.
Okay. Well, there is some good heart behind it. I will say that much. So again, we met at this work function. I was enamored by his very young children at the time, just trying to feed me sugar and Doritos. You can't really go wrong.
Which lasted the rest of my employment.
That's your own fault. Again, I was fresh out of college, so I was hungry. And then I was told, hey, I do this YouTube channel, and you do these cosplay things. Do you want to get to work on some stuff? Eventually it did come out and was, hey, you're in your young 20s and a fairly pretty girl. Do you want to be on this channel? I was like, sure, I'll help get the views. To be perfectly frank and opaque about it. But it really was for me to actually have a platform and more motivation to make sure I stay on top of my projects, because I was already starting doing cosplay without you.
Yes.
Sorry. Before Griever years.
That's fine.
And so, and I was just, again, I was going apartment to apartment, didn't have much money, and this person wanted to open their house to me to have a full workshop at my hands, and again, feeding me. That was a huge proponent to it, to be perfectly frank. So yeah, that's kind of how I came into the realm was, hey, I need someone else. And I will say, when I did join the channel, some of our very close friends were like, wow, James, you seem so much more comfortable in front of the camera, because there's this, tit for tat. It always is easier to make it more conversational instead of just talking directly to a camera where you can't talk to anybody behind it. So that's kind of where I came in, to make it a bit more conversational. Again, to open up the space to not just mods and reviews, but also to the actual aesthetic changing into props. So yeah, that's how I came into this space.
and also to add to that, like as we were mentioning before about like, the 4 hours for a 15-minute video, it's because like I'll do a take and I'm not happy with it and I'll keep retrying it over and over and over again. You make us do it one and done.
Yeah.
So.
And it's not on purpose in any way, shape, or form. Again, it's just because we're there to fill in, the gaps of dialogue. And if you're stuck on something, we can kind of keep it going. And yeah, our filming has become significantly quicker.
Yes.
For sure. So find a friend to do this with if you do want to get into content creation. It does make it, again, more fun. It keeps the ideas rolling in as well. And yeah, it becomes a good time. And it's just, we just so happen to have a camera in front of us while we're, doing our usual hangout.
So what I gather is it sounds like Griever wanted more views, so he got someone that was good looking to join the channel. Is essentially what.
I don't consider myself good looking. I'm average at best. But again, a young 20-something straight out of college, it helps.
That's fair.
It helped a little bit. Oh, especially when I put out my Starfire series, which I
We're not going to talk about that on this one.
Long story short, you see a lot of leg.
I believe you.
As we were kind of talking about, like, and one thing I want to add about content creation also is you never know what will hit.
No.
Because in all of my years doing YouTube, all the videos we've done, like, our big projects like the Welcome to the Hobby series, the Hyperion build, the Starfire build, the cosplay builds,
the Honey
Lemon, prop builds and stuff like that. My highest viewed video is a review of the Nerf Rival Atlas, which no one liked. I was one of the few people to actually enjoy that one. But yet, it's the highest reviewed video on my channel.
Yeah.
And the next ones are Starfire.
Yeah. Starfire comes very close after that.
Yeah.
But no, you never know what's going to hit. It's just, again, get that camera out and go for it. Again, thankfully, this is a very open and comforting community that's here to boost you more than anything. I think that's one element that helps with content creation in the Nerf blaster community, is that you're immediately probably going to get some views from just the people that you hang out with or go to these events with. They're very opening and always happy to lend a hand. So when it comes to content creation, just get that camera out and you would be surprised who's really interested in it.
Mm-hmm.
So Arleen, for someone that just is relatively new to the hobby, what would you say you have learned in the matter of time that you have been involved, and what's the difference you've seen since you started versus where you are now?
Oh, yes, absolutely. I will say from the beginning, it really started as aesthetics. I'll show another project we did here. This was from Men in Black. We made little, what was it
Noisy
called?
Cricket.
The Noisy Cricket. And we just used like a little pen where you can click the back here so it lights up. It has like a little blue light in there. I don't know if it can really show on camera. But it's just little things like that I really enjoyed. So the aesthetics was where I definitely started. But now getting into the actual hobby, learning the internals was, I think, just a lot of fun. So one, understanding the different kind of metrics to go by. So the actual strength of the springs, that one I'm still learning a little bit of because it comes in so many different sizes. The actual gauges, I think it goes by.
Yeah.
Yeah, gauge of the springs, and then the actual accuracy of it, what it takes. Do you want a shorter barrel or a longer barrel? How that would actually also might decrease your distance. So it's all those different metrics, how you can actually manipulate those in the blasters once you get them open. I love being able to tinker with things and see what's going on the inside. And if I can customize it to my joy, that's where I think I get the most fun out of it. One thing, you guys have probably heard me talk about it 1,000 times on our channel, I have very tiny hands and they are very, very weak. So for me, priming tends to be an issue. So we've been working on that with which spring we're using.
And you also have my same issue with flywheelers, that they just sound like angry chainsaws.
It's the battery. I can't do it. But dear Lord, is it so fun to just do one-handed operation with these blasters. So yeah, I think that for me is, again, learning all the different components. Is it, like this round barrel where you just see the darts at the front? Is it more like a clip? I just love being able to see all the different ins and outs, how you can customize it to what fits you and for whatever occasion you might be doing, whether it is a prop build or going out to an event, which I definitely want to. That's kind of the next step for me, is going to a live event, meeting everybody and trying out all of these different blasters that I've had the chance to work on.
2025 hashtag Arleen to Nerf event.
Hey.
I think I saw that somewhere on someone hashtagged Arleen. But so Arleen, as an outside observer, what commentary can you provide to us on the inside that we may not know, or maybe that we do know?
Oh my Lord. Well, first off, I know it's labeled the Nerf community. it is not the Nerf community anymore. I mean, I've been really kind of diving more into BuzzBee and things like that. So the fact that the brands out there have created a better space for these modders and people that bring these out into the field, I love so much. So I think that's one definite, like, I think hurdle of, like, you don't just have to look at Nerf blasters that are available, you know, at your normal retailer like Target and Walmart. There are other sources out there. And I think the other thing is, for me, it's the model names. Like, you'll just say the N-Strike or the oh no, there's so many different ones, and I'm just like, I have no idea which one you're talking about.
I'll rattle off names of things like, oh, the Harrier, the Wasp 77, the Caliburn, and it's like talking to my mom about video games. That's nice, sweetie.
So it's almost like I need like a glossary with pictures to be like, okay, that's what this model is, and things like that. So that's I think my main complaint at this point.
Too many names.
I mean, it's hard to keep up at this point. I don't know how everyone does it, honestly. I've lost track myself, and I have to ask people like Griever and other people what this blaster is. I literally messaged Boomstick Moss the other day asking him what the battle axe was, because I'd forgotten, even though I knew it. So, but yeah, it's tough. We are extremely spoiled. It's not a bad problem to have, though.
It really isn't. It's so cool to have such variety available. And I mean, even your lovely Destiny. Yeah. I don't know what you call it, but the
Galahorn.
Galahorn, the big boy, is just what I call it.
Yeah.
I will say in our Welcome to the Hobby, he's like, you either have a short boy or a long boy. Is it a pistol or a rifle? So that helped a lot. So again, just kind of the name association is where I'm definitely stuck, and it feels like there's a barrier. But again, once you get into it, you're doing that research, it makes it a lot easier. When it came to actually selecting my very first custom blaster that I was going to do all the work on, only my hands touched it. That was a process, to say the least, because again, we went through all of the different aspects of, you know, what is in these blasters. Again, all the different components that it could be. It really came down to, okay, I definitely want kind of one-handed action, but technically it's two because I want to prime it.
Right.
I wanted a clip. I didn't want to have to deal with the front barrel loading.
The cylinders and all that.
The cylinders. Again, the terminology is where I'm getting lost here.
It's all plastic or 3D printed,
Exactly. Which, again, 3D printing, it opens up a whole nother realm, which is fantastic. But no, it's so cool to learn all different components, how they actually contribute to the performance of the blaster, and I just can't wait to use it in action.
That's true. And I mean, to kind of build off of that, I mean, like, even with my years in the hobby, starting off where, like, you can even see just way up there my plus bow sitting up high on the wall. I mean, that was from the days gone by where that's completely built by a hardware store, of PVC, acrylic, springs and screws.
The hobby is definitely much more easier to enter into.
Yeah, I mean, like, you know, going back in the day when, like, you know, you were still modifying like AT3Ks and finding the Ertl pump shotguns and converting them into doomsayers and such. I mean, to where we are now is like, I never would have thought the hobby ever would have gotten this far. And it's like, we truly are in the golden age of it. I mean, I know me and Clowny have talked about it, you know, kind of ad nauseam between each other about how, you know, maybe the hobby has lost its way of innovation of, like, you know, being able to find a couple of scraps of PVC and, like, how do I make a blaster out of that? But I mean, to the point of, like, you know, somebody can pull up a 3D printer program and, you know, now replicate stuff directly from, like, video games and such, and we can take that into a Nerf event. You know, when I started, that would have been like
unheard of.
Yeah, that's like, unless it already looked like that, you know, you'd have to be like a true artiste to truly make it look like that.
No, so again, I just think it's so cool. Again, it's so easy to enter into now at decently cheap prices. I, of course, had to fork over a lot of money for mine because I wanted the whole kit and need to make it all fancy. But again, I was able to at least get my hands on some stuff here to better figure out what it is that I wanted. I know you also mentioned that there are hobby shops out there where you just need to Google them and you can be able to handle them there and then be able to kind of go down that path of what is it that best fits me.
Absolutely. Let me see. We had a question from where was it? Oh, Captain Shotgun wants to know. I think it's for you guys. Are you guys planning to go to FoamCon or End War? FoamCon End War. Are you guys planning to go to End War this year? Has it even been announced yet?
I don't know if it's
announced yet. I didn't see a date.
I haven't heard about FoamCon or End War being announced yet. I mean, I will say it honestly all depends on where it's going to be. Like I was able to get up to Rochester in 2022, which I was very excited about. And that's also where first time I got my chance to finally meet Al at that one, and pal around with him for most of the day. But
I think all of us were in the slow group at some point.
yeah, it was Al. Yeah, I was like bouncing around between Al, Papatachi, Random Shadow, and Charles from Containment Crew and all, just like kind of getting my footage for that and all. I think End War was the last.
That was the last big one.
No, that was the last one I actually did event footage for.
Oh.
Because Saturday I had such big blisters on my feet from running around the first two games of Friday. I'm like, I can't run. It hurts too much, so I'm just going to slow walk it and record everything.
There was a lot of walking. It was a lot of fun, though.
It was. No, it was.
Note to self, wear good shoes.
Yes. Also know your terrain. But to answer the question, it all depends on where it's going to be. I am going to try and I will be at Maryland Mayhem this year for the Saturday day. Obviously, the one event you'll always be able to get me at is APOC. Since I started in the hobby, I started doing events. I'm like, this is my guaranteed one a year, no questions asked. So, but yeah, unfortunately for me, it's the travel. I mean, I have a family, and yes, granted, my children are older now than since I had started, and I have one who is interested, so I may be able to sneak them off with me and all. But yeah, it really all depends on like kind of where it is and all that kind of stuff. So it's like, unfortunately, Survival Fest being all the way out in Ohio, that's a bit of a trek for me. If it was going to be out at Altoona or in Penn State where it was traditionally, I probably could have swung it because that's only like a 3, maybe 4 hour drive for me. Ohio being a 9-hour drive, that's kind of pushing it. So yeah, unfortunately for me, travel is usually a big factor that unfortunately limits my attendance at things.
Yeah. So Captain Shotgun, come to Maryland Mayhem or APOC, one or the other.
There you go.
There you go. So another reason I wanted to get you guys on here was to discuss one of your latest videos, epic, I guess, but also because we here at the World Foam Alliance are planning to actually incorporate it and provide it as a resource to people that have joined the website and on the YouTube channel and everything. But it is Welcome to the Hobby, and it basically covers everything that has evolved to being new. And again, having Arleen's perspective coming from outside into the hobby and getting acclimated is a series or is a video that you guys did. Go ahead and just talk a little bit about it, just so people know about it and kind of what to expect. And like I said, we're planning to kind of, if you guys haven't seen it, it's on your YouTube channel, so go check it out. But we're trying to reformat it a little bit, maybe make it smaller, shorter formats for reels and release it in that format through the World Foam Alliance YouTube channel and Facebook and socials and things. But go ahead and tell us a little bit about that, because I think it's really important. And again, having that perspective is unique, but important. So
thank you. I will say not as fun, I think, to watch content, definitely more to listen. So if you want it as background noise, I think that's a great way to kind of consume it, because it really is an interview more than anything.
I tried to do a couple of as much visual examples as I could, but a lot of it was when I first entered the hobby, our resources were pretty vast. We had, I mean, I started back in the day of like online forums. So we had things like Nerf Haven and Nerf Revolution. Like those were like the two like really big ones. And unfortunately, Nerf Revolution died and went away a long time ago. Nerf Haven is still around and kicking, but it's now just really kind of archival more so than anything else. I know people have tried to kind of keep it going over the years. It still exists, but it's not really the go-to resource it once was. A lot of things nowadays have moved into Facebook and Discord and stuff like that. But unfortunately, with those type of platforms, it's once something posts within like 2-3 weeks, even depending on how active it is, 2-3 days, you can't find anything anymore because you have to scroll back for so long. Or if or if you looking for like keywords, there's like so many other things, and then you have to sort through all of that.
It can get overwhelming for sure. So
that's where it gets buried. Yeah.
So that's kind of where I'm coming again, because James had all this kind of experience in his back pocket, and me coming in brand new, there might be questions that he didn't think about, or he would have some answers to a question that I wouldn't even think to ask. So it was a lot of really getting down into the nitty gritty and details of what the nerfing community is, what it does, how you can become involved, the differences between the blasters. I think that's my favorite one, as we really start getting into the technical bits of it. But really, I know talking about the resources, they have expanded because it is such a more easily graspable hobby to just jump into.
Because I mean, when I first started, if you wanted to build a Nerf blaster, you'd go to Nerf Haven to get the ideas of like the plans or like the build guides or something like that. But then the only way to get the parts were to go to Home Depot, Lowe's, Ace Hardware, McMaster Car. But
which you don't have to do anymore, which is so nice.
Well, it depends. 3D printed parts you still have to get the hardware for. But I mean, like nowadays you can go, you have, and then you had the dawn of what would eventually become, I guess you can say, the retail space of like, Orange Mod Works first coming to the scene with like, their massacre kits for, the original End Strike blasters. And it was like, somebody's making injected molded parts for actual blasters. This was mind blowing. But then you get companies like Worker and, starting to expand upon that. But then you get actual storefronts like Containment Crew, Silver Fox, Out of Darts. Like it's, that ever growing expanse of things. And then, all the other, one-off shops on Etsy and everything, selling 3D printed blasters. And it's just,
it becomes overwhelming.
Yeah, it's grown quickly. So much. And yes, it can get overwhelming at times. And then like, if you do pick up something from like Target or something, like, oh, this is fun, what can I do with it? And you go to and that's one thing, honestly, I loved about the World Foam Alliance when I remember talking to you and Al about it at originally, and, finding kind of like, almost like a hub resource. And that's what kind of gave me the idea to do the Welcome to the Hobby series. Was I want to try and make a, not like, the be all end all, but just at least give somebody who's like, hey, I just got this blaster. What can I do with it? Or, wow, this looks really fun. How do I do Nerf? That kind of thing.
It really was just a catch-all entry of, hey, this is what the experience is like for someone new coming into the hobby. I know for me, I asked a lot of what I thought were stupid questions, but was then told, no, that's actually a very insightful question. Because I feel like getting into any hobby, you immediately start looking at everything from that, oh no, I don't know this. I'm going to ask stupid questions, or I just don't know. And it's sometimes getting over that fear will stop some people from even trying. So we really want to be very transparent of, hey, these aren't stupid questions. It's very easy to get into this. You don't need to be afraid. Just try it. You never know.
Yeah, absolutely. So I highly recommend anyone to who hasn't seen it or just wants to check it out to go to Griever's YouTube channel and check out that Welcome to the Hobby video. Like I said, we're going to be reformatting it a little bit here for the World Foam Alliance and getting that out to you guys as content in the near future. So we are getting to that time. I do want to go ahead and just shoot off some final questions for you guys. Let's see. For both of you, Springer, or what's your favorite kind of blaster? Springer, flywheel, AB, stringers. What are you guys working with these days?
Springer.
my heart belongs with Springers.
Okay. And since they're Springers, what are some of your favorite blasters then?
I mean, I got to give a shout out to like some of the more modern stuff. I have this Caliburn U that was given to me by my friend Carlos before he had moved, because he didn't want to take stuff, and he knew I liked this, and he very nicely gifted it to me. I love that. Honestly, truly, the SBL is one of my favorites. Gavin did an amazing job building that thing and designing it. The Seagull is honestly a very good one that I have really enjoyed a lot. I will say I do like a good lever action blaster, which is why I have like my modified sling fire up there, even though it doesn't work, but I do enjoy those. And I, shout out to future content. I did recently finally get my WASP 77 because.
Hey!
So I'm very excited to start playing around with that and then getting my review out on that, because one of my, like, as I said, my first video ever was a review of the Stampede, and I liked the Stampede and the Vulcan for what they were. I mean, the AEBs were really very interesting. And the fact that it's taken so long for them to get back into the hobby has always been honestly kind of fascinating. So.
Yeah. No, I mean, I'm an AEB sucker all day myself. So I love a good AEB. So
I know
what about you?
I know you let me play with your inverted scale, and I'm just like, I was ready to run with it.
Yeah. Arleen, what are you rocking?
I mean, probably the one that I did at the end of our Welcome to the Hobby series is my Dart Zone Mach 2.1. I love that thing. It's just fun to fling around the house.
Yeah,
absolutely. I think what I want to do, I was just thinking about this earlier on when we were talking about cosplay, but I think what I want to do is do an episode where we get you guys and some of the other people that do cosplay, and of course Al, and just kind of do a little show live stream talking about integrating Nerf blasters into cosplay. I think that'd be a lot of fun.
Absolutely.
So that sounds And if plans go well come May, I mean that'll work out great, because hopefully something we're working on will be done by then.
Awesome. So let's plan for after May then.
Fingers crossed.
That'll give us some time. We'll say June just to be safe. So there we go. Awesome. Well, I want to thank you guys for joining us. Griever, Arleen, where can people find you if they want to get in contact with you or check out your content?
So our YouTube channel is called Nerfing Lionheart Customs. The URL is youtube.com/thegriever2112, because that's when I had started it. I'm on Facebook, Griever, the Nerfing Lionheart. You can also find me on Instagram. You've kind of washed yourself from...
I was about to say, I essentially deleted all social media apps from my phone just for my sanity's sake. But the accounts are still active, so you'd be able to find me at Arleen, AKA. just because I like to dabble in just about everything. So hence the name Arleen, ARLEENAKA, on Instagram. You can find me there.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. And are you going to be joining Griever at any of the events, Maryland Mayhem or APOC this year?
I am definitely considering it. Again, it's all about, travel and timing. So I will let you guys know and keep you guys in touch to when I'll be showing up.
The second she confirms something, I am blasting it all over like my channel.
I genuinely can't wait to meet all of you because sincerely, the open arms I received into this community has been very, very heartwarming. So I want to meet all of you and give you all big hugs.
Awesome. Well, again, I really appreciate it. Thank you guys so much for coming on. Griever, I look forward to seeing you in May and in August again. And hopefully you too, Arleen. So
I'll let you know.
Again, awesome. I want to thank all our viewers and guests. Again, shout out to Captain Shotgun, General Strife, Wizard Builds, Danny Pack, Thirsty for Foam. I know I'm forgetting Clowny. I'm for everyone who joined us on this live chat stream tonight. Really thank you guys. Really appreciate you guys. Super excited for 2025. World Foam Alliance has a lot of exciting things planned and hopefully will come to fruition sooner than later. But super excited. Again, thank you guys for everything. Looking forward to a great year. Hope you guys have an awesome year foam flinging, and remember to always dart swoot. See you guys soon.